like Pina the doll sheep? And being in the dark with a wolf? Hello everyone and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight we have our czar of source material, John.
It is like way too late for this.
I was gonna say, because usually it's too early for you, but you've been up for 24 hours.
Yeah, normally I'm sleeping by now. Fuck, man.
And we have our poster extraordinaire, Natai.
So all of us are like half dead. John from being up for like 3 days straight, and me from being after the gym and just wanting to sleep and die at peace. Is this what I'm getting at?
Yeah, this is pretty much
flex, man. To let us know, hey, ladies, I'm hitting the gym again.
It's not a flex. It's not. I want. I'm in pain. I want to die.
See, that's why. See, we have a channel on our Discord server now that's all about like fitness and stuff. He won't post in there because he's the second he does, he's gonna have the bitches all over him.
No, man. That's not true. What the fuck are you talking about? Why? I feel attacked right now.
Well. You know what we are going to be talking about tonight? Man, we're going to be talking about BEASTARS Season 2.
Hey,
that's right, we are.
Speaking of beasts being attacked.
Yeah, you're turning into a beast. But yeah, we are going to be doing a Spoilercast for BEASTARS Season 2 tonight. If you haven't already, we have done a Spoilercast. We did that last year of the first season of BEASTARS. Do go check that out if you haven't seen that.
It was pretty
thus
good.
Far. It is. It's good. It's definitely worth checking out, as is the second season. But speaking of that first season of BEASTARS, let's kind of recap a little bit where we left off with the first season and getting into the second. So with the end of the first season, we saw Louis shoot and kill the lion boss of the Leo
child
group.
Murderer.
A child murderer. And then like he fucking disappears, and it's sort of left open and up in the air as to what actually happens to Louis at the end of the first season. We still like the entire premise of the show opens up with a murder of the alpaca Tim. We still don't know who kills him or who killed him at the start of the second season, and so that mystery is still out there. Sean wrote down, Wolf Boy still has not banged the bunny.
Listen. No, you skipped over a bullet point. Season 2 takes place 2 months after the end of Season 1. They established
I know,
this.
but I thought that this bullet point was more important.
Listen, all right, I had to put this here because if I didn't put it, I'd forget. So after the end of Season 1, I was so pissed because I was like, damn it, he didn't bang the bunny. So I fucking went and read the manga because I needed to see if he bangs the bunny.
Wait. You read the mangas because you were looking for, like, a hentai?
No,
he's not a furry. Guys, he's not a furry, I swear.
I swear.
Right.
Ooh, what's this? No, because after the end of Season 1, you're just like, I had so many questions. First and foremost being, does he even fucking bang the bunny? Like, this entire premise has been, I want to bang/eat this bunny. I'm like, well, does he do either of these things to the goddamn bunny? So after Season 1 ends, I'm just like, I feel like, I'm blue balling right now, so I had to go read it. Like I said, fuck you guys, I'm gonna go read this. And yeah.
You know, you can actually go find art of this happening if you're not satisfied with the manga.
No, I need to see it happen
disgusting.
officially. Anyway, so season 2 opens up, and we now know that it's been 2 months since the event because. Thank you, exposition. Legacy, for whatever goddamn reason, is just expositing for us.
Yeah, it's like it's funny because like the character, I forget who says it, but there's like the character that says like, yeah, it's been 2 months since Louis disappeared. And I'm like,
oh, thanks.
Great exposition, guys. Great exposition.
Definitely doesn't set the tone for the rest of the season, right?
Nah, not at all.
Certain unexplained things just happen. We just conveniently wrap it all up.
Yeah, right. I do want to mention that. So this second season of the anime is adapting the third story arc from the manga. It's sort of colloquially referred to as the murder incident solution. And it covers volume 7 through 11 of the manga. The manga has a total of 22 volumes, and it is finished. So this, at the end of season 2, you are halfway through the manga.
Wait, so season 1 was volume 1 through 6?
That's kind of massive.
Season 1 covers volumes 1 through 6, yes.
That's a shit ton of fucking volumes to cover, man.
Yeah.
12 episodes?
And it didn't feel like they like went through that much events.
Well, I guess because it's manga,
crazy.
it's different.
Like
'Cause I'm thinking about it in terms of like light novel, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like 3 to 4 volumes, but this is manga volumes. But still, that kind of makes sense.
And you yourself pointed out that the chapters of BEASTARS are kind of short.
Yeah, so, man.
By the way, both of you read the manga, right?
I have not read the whole thing.
I haven't finished
but I have read past
no.
season 2.
Yeah,
I haven't read any of it.
I also read to the end of season 2, and I'm like maybe 4 or 5 chapters ahead of season 2 right now. And that's where I stopped because I found out who was the killer, and I don't know. I was just like, all right, well, a bunch of my questions have been answered, and I don't want to read anymore.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Well, because when I was reading it last year, it still wasn't translated pretty far out, and I hate getting to a part where it's like I'm all caught up, you know? So it's better to like cut it off now and then feed the addiction later. It's more binging I can do later. Now that
ladies and gentlemen, the gotcha mentality in a fucking nutshell.
Oh my god.
Listen, I like binging, okay? I literally just binged all of season 2 like an hour before we started this recording.
It's a good binge. It's a good binge.
He had it on like 2 times speed, and he speed run the whole thing.
I mean, I already knew it was gonna fucking happen, right? Like, but no, I actually sat and watched every single episode. Man, I have a lot to say about it, but we're kind of working on a time crunch here, so
yeah, we are. So I do want to mention a little bit of the technical details. So Studio Orange has come back to animate this second season. It is still in full CGI. All the cast came back. Almost all of the crew came back. I think there's a couple of people who are a little different.
Same banging soundtrack.
Yeah. I want to talk about, since this is full CG, I can definitely tell that either they had more time or they had more money or both for the second season, because the CG is noticeably improved over the first season.
Oh yeah,
which says a lot because the first season was great already.
Oh yeah, the first season wasn't bad, but it's even better in the second season.
Yeah.
So one thing that season 2 has a lot more of than season 1 is action sequences. Like I can think of off the top of my head, there's 4 right now. Action sequences that they played out really well. So I feel like that might be why they upped the budget for the CG. But I also wanted to add in that it's not completely CGI because a bunch of the backgrounds aren't CGI rendered. They're hand drawn.
Yeah. Some of the static backgrounds are hand drawn. Yes.
Yeah, and I honestly I really like that because I like hand drawn. Everyone likes hand drawn, right?
Right.
Like, I think we can all be in agreement here that all 3 of us prefer hand drawn compared to CGI.
I have said it multiple times, and I will say it again. The best argument I could ever give for the superiority of hand drawn animation is watching the original 90s OVAs of Gunsmith Cats.
Yeah. And but the 3D CG has definitely improved. Like it moves a lot smoother. I really liked it.
I would assume that after that they got all the models, like pretty much nailed all the models while they did the first season. That meant a whole lot of work like was sort of ready for them when they approached season 2, because they probably used the same models while they animated it, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah,
they have
so it's
updated
also,
models.
I mean, that's pretty much a big advantage to CG is that you don't have to actually sit there and draw out the characters all the time. You can have a model that you can just edit and alter as you need.
I mean, kind of.
I would assume that it's like the same models, probably.
No, it's not. But
what do you mean?
So one thing that was a challenge in season 1 was, first of all, the manga looks like ass. Sorry, mangaka, whatever your name is. I don't know your actual name,
Chicken lady.
Mikado Itagaki.
Chicken lady.
Chicken lady. God, she's so weird IRL too. Oh my god.
Like,
I
sorry,
love it.
chicken lady, but your manga looks like ass. Like, it looks like chicken scratch. Okay, I can't.
It looks about as good as the manga for Haikyuu.
It looks about as good as the original manga for One Punch Man. Okay.
Damn. Okay.
No, it's not that
Yeesh.
bad, but in
That's
season
rough.
1, I know that they had a lot of issues with like getting the characters to look right because the source material looks like ass. Like, you know,
It's funny because in the first season, there are certain moments where the characters almost dip into that uncanny valley.
yeah.
Like, there's just something not quite right about the proportions.
So props to the character designers who re-upped the models and like remade them. Like, all right, we know what they're gonna move like because of the action sequences and stuff. So they were able to like render it out better. They didn't look as like lanky. Like Legoshi, for example, doesn't look as lanky, among other reasons. But that everything just looks better, man. Everything is sharper. There's more color. They actually have like hand-drawn backgrounds that add a lot more vibrant life to the scenes, and they really utilize 3D CG well because, like, example, for the battle scenes, for the fight sequences and stuff, they actually do a lot of that like 3D moving around, so we can actually see like the area that they're fighting in the space, and it's actually super cool because it makes it easier to follow like how the battle is playing out.
Yeah, that's definitely one area where the second season is much improved. But again, it is because there's more action sequences in the second season.
Also, a lot of really cool, like, sort of directorial touches, I suppose. Like, there's these moments, like when Legoshi sort of for the first time confronts the murderer while he still doesn't know who he is. So he's like blindfolded, and all the colors are like drawn on. It's like stark black with these outlines, and so from time to time they'll like just kind of pretty much flexed with a really unique type of color choice for different scenes to show like their intensity. And it's a beautiful show all around, pretty much. Like, it looks great. It's animated really, really well. It's really
I love
awesome.
those. I absolutely love that scene too, because it definitely gives you a sense that Legoshi himself is blindfolded and he can't see what's going on, but
And
he's
it's
actually
intense.
experiencing what's going on with his other senses.
Yeah.
One thing
great.
that I definitely... So they made Legoshi and his scent like a really big deal in the first season.
Yeah.
They didn't really do that in season 2. Like, they used it in a couple instances, but that was something that I was a little bit disappointed in. Like, they used it very sparingly, I should say. That's okay though, because there was a lot of vibrant colors in the backgrounds and stuff. They put effort in different areas, and I mean, I guess they can. Oh well, he had a stuffed nose, so he couldn't smell. That's why we didn't see the fucking I don't know what that thing is. Synthesia, where you see
Where you can actually like see smells and taste colors.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, synesthesia.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
So, I mean, I definitely do give props to the director, because one thing that I did notice is like the manga is super fast paced compared to like the actual anime. The anime is a lot more slow and dramatic, and
That is another glaring like difference between the manga and the anime adaptation. The manga rather has a lot of moments of like just comedy, and sometimes for no reason.
yeah.
What?
there's a
The
lot of
chicken
comedy
episode was
breaks.
great in season 1.
Yeah, but it's more commonplace in the manga, where like a lot of these scenes have a lot of tension because we have a lot of the voice acting, which, by the way, phenomenal voice acting.
Yeah.
There is, that is one thing I definitely wanted to give props to. Like, the voice acting in this show is goddamn amazing. Like, especially in this season with Yuki Kaji coming on board as Pina. Oh my god,
Oh my
he chews up
God.
every scene he's in.
I fucking loved it.
I love
he
it.
really hammed it up, and it was fucking great. He really nailed the like pretty boy role. I fucking loved it. But
he's a
yeah, like
fucking
even
goat.
like we talked about this in the first one too. Like even Legoshi, like he's an awkward teenager, right? They're in an awkward awkward high schooler phase, and like the stuttering and his nervousness, and then like
He talks like an awkward teenager. It's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because he's been a quiet guy for most of his life, so when he's trying to speak up and he can't get his thoughts out correctly and it's all jumbled and stuff, it really, it's a good reflection, of their character, and these voice actors fucking nailed it. Like,
yeah, and I love the fact that when he gets in his ball of awkwardness and he starts getting frustrated with his own like introversion, he starts stuttering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
every interaction he has with fuck me, what? I can't believe I forgot the rabbit's name. The bunny.
Haru.
Every time he has an interaction with Haru, it's great. I love their interactions together. Like, the actors play off each other so fucking well. Like, she just overpowers him, honestly, in some of these scenes when it comes to her personality. It's great.
I can't I can't do it. Like, I can't imagine John not watching all those scenes, and he's just like in the back of his mind going, "Bang the bunny, bang the bunny, bang the bunny,
my
bang
God.
the bunny, bang the bunny."
Listen, that was what was promised. That's what I was looking forward to.
It's the promised Neverland.
Oh God.
Anyway, yeah, the director really took advantage of took good advantage of the actors and added in their own like little flares here and there, because I can't believe how good this anime is compared to the manga. Like, God, I wish I had better things.
Major of a difference?
It's one of those rare instances of an anime adaptation that I think is actually better than its source material.
Yeah, because
really?
yes and no. I mean, I'll get to that in a second when we talk about pacing and stuff, but I just think the directing was done really well. Like, it's the way that the anime has been structured and the way that they've directed us to have certain emotions with the musical cues, along with the voice actors and their voice actor lines. It's fucking great. It was like it's very theatrical, man. It's almost like it's a running theme or something. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a stage play, like the people in the drama club are doing.
Wow, man, crazy.
But you brought up the idea of the soundtrack. I want to talk about that for a second.
It's so good.
This soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
The score by Satoru Kosaki, who is also the person behind the score of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya and a big majority of the Monogatari series. Wow, it shines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many good renditions of old songs as well that he did for this season.
Like
it's so good.
I can't remember what it was called. The one that freaking when Juno sings that song on that stage in season 1.
Oh yeah.
They brought it back as
an
the
instrumental
epilogue
piece.
song.
As instrumental, yeah, it's great.
Well, they
so
also
good.
brought it back as like an extended epilogue piece, and it was just like I was like, oh man, this is such a good song. It's like one of those like jazz songs, and that's something that they surprisingly they kind of got away from. Like season 1 had a lot of like jazz inspiration and piano inspirations. And season 2 definitely has that too, but they also have like hip hop soundtrack. Like there's that one that sounds
pop
like
style,
and it sounds like freaking what's that guy from Persona? Something Lotus.
Which Persona? Oh, Lotus Juice.
Yeah, Lotus Juice.
Yeah.
It sounds like Lotus Juice is rapping
That's
in one of the
true,
songs.
actually, yeah.
Like when we see Louis, and it was just
suit.
like yeah, and I was like, I swear that was him, but it probably wasn't. But it was just weird because they had like a lot of like slice of life tracks and a couple of other like, it wasn't just the theme of like jazz and piano anymore. They added a little bit more variety because there was a lot of different facets that they had to look through in season 2, which was really good. It's very creative.
And I would say there were a lot more. There were more characters that got like screen time and like actual lines in season 2 than in season 1. So I feel like that adding those new musical cues and musical stylings sort of added to that too, because it felt like almost every character, at least every character that had a speaking line, almost had a musical cue to go along with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the OP and ED are bangers. Let me tell you, boy. Freaking, I don't remember their name. It's by the same band, Yao something. Yao Subi.
They're great. They're fucking amazing. But
I mean, we heard the OP during the teaser when it came out, right? And I was like, okay, it's not bad. And then I hear the ED in episode 2, and I'm just like, I fucking loved it. I was just like, the OP is good, don't get me wrong, but the ED, oh my god, dude. I did not skip any. any of the EDs. I was like, I need to listen to it. It's so good.
The thing with the OP is that I love the song. It's so good. It's great. It's awesome. It's energetic. I love it. But man, do the visuals disappoint. I mean, because we had the OP for season 1 with Wildside, and it's amazing with the unique animations and
the stop motion animation.
The stop motion animation was so good. And then again, song is amazing, but it's like, oh, it's just mostly reused animation. It's kind of
silhouettes of the characters reaching out to each other.
Listen, if the price of us having the good CG that we got throughout the show in the second season was not having as much great animation in the OP and ED, I'm okay with that trade-off.
The first opening for season 1 wasn't even done by Orange. It was done by a different studio. I think. It's like I don't know. It was kind of disappointing.
It may have been, but if Orange had to do the OP and the ED for the second season, I'm okay with it because what we still got was good animation in the show.
That's true.
I agree.
And I would rather they blow their budget on the core of it instead of the OP and ED. Like, great songs, but yeah, the OP fucking so simple, right? Like every anime does the silhouette shit back to back, hands reaching out for each other. And then the fucking ED, dude. I love the ED song. Right.
Also, the animation for the ED is really nice. I really like it.
Yeah, except it's so simple. It's literally, it's just hand drawn, right? It's like an AHA style, music video style, where it's like all hand drawn.
Wow.
But it's quite literally just like frames from a certain scene towards the end of the fucking anime.
I want someone to take on me and then just put it over that animation just to see if it works.
Probably not. I think the BPM is completely different, but it was just extremely basic, especially compared to what we got from season 1. But again, it doesn't matter because the rest of the actual core of the show was actually good. So
yeah. Speaking of the core of the show, should we actually start talking about story?
All right. So who killed Tem? Right,
that's the question. Actually, there's a couple of questions that we have, leading off from season 1.
Will they bang?
Like, what happened to fucking Louis? Is he dead? Did he run away?
Yeah. So, who killed Tem? Season 1 starts off with that murder scene, and then at the very end, it's like, oh yeah, we never solved that mystery, did we? So then season 2 opens back up with, hey, remember that thing that happened 2 months ago? Yeah, that's still not solved, huh? Man, there's a ghost over here.
It's a giant snake.
Yeah, Hex Eyes. That was
what a
great.
cool name, by the way.
Yeah, I love that.
We're introduced to a lot of new characters in season 2. Hex Eyes being one of them, who like eggs Legoshi on and is like, you can find out who the killer is, right? And I have a lot of complaints about season 2.
What about this? This school has one security guard.
It's
one
big ass security guard though.
True, it's a big old boy. It's a thick old boy.
It's damn.
Well, thick. It's a lady.
I love that introduction, by the way, of that character. Like, it's so
I
cool.
do too.
I love how she's super in love with Legoshi's body too. She's
it's like what the fuck,
perving out, and then Legoshi's just touching her, like, oh. So this is what a snake feels like. And she's like, oh, he's admiring my body? Like, Anyway, that was weird. It was a weird way to segue Legoshi's story into, like, becoming fucking Batman. Okay? Legoshi becomes Batman.
I am the Knight.
So, in the first episode, we see Louis back, and we learn that it's 2 months later. And then we also learn that now Louis is a fucking crime boss. So after he fucking executes the fucking the old lion boss, he becomes the new boss of the Leo clan.
He is the new lion.
And while he's doing that, Legoshi becomes fucking Batman. He's the keeper of the night. Like,
it's so melodramatic, but somehow it works. I don't know why.
It's so fucking funny.
Where's the Joker? Tell me now.
Yeah, and my God. So those might be 2 really big bombs to drop on you, but this happens in the first fucking 2 episodes, okay? That we learn all these things. The pacing of season 2 was fucking weird. So
it's all over the place, dude.
Like, we learn who the killer is pretty fucking early on, and we don't get to the climax of like fighting the killer and getting them turned in or whatever, getting to the end of the killer arc until like it happens in episode 7, right? Was that what I said
episode
it was?
7 is when it's actually revealed who the killer is. But let's be honest. So I want to talk about that. So when season 1 was airing and you and I were watching it, John, you kept saying to me, "It's Bill. It's got to be Bill. It's got to be fucking Bill."
It's Billy.
Because if you think about it, like there was a lot of
he's like the only he's like the biggest guy there pretty much. And it's like a tiger.
There were so many hints, right, that it could have been Bill. And the fact that they show him like doping with the blood in season 1 and how he goes to the meat market and he's like, "Yeah, let's go get some fucking meat, man.
Let's go get drugs."
Let's go get drugs." Yo, man, you got some drugs?
And he's always like trying to flex his like, "Oh, look at us, we're carnivores. Lugosi, fight me in this fucking tug of war with our teeth." Like, he's so.
I was telling John, he's almost set up to be like this massive dickhead jock.
Yeah, and
pretty much,
it's a red herring, right? Like he would be the obvious pick, so it can't be Billy. And so then, was it episode 2 or 3 that Lugosi gets his ass kicked by the killer?
Where he gets blindfolded and he can't see what's going on, but he can smell and hear everything.
Yeah, so it gets fucking revealed pretty early on. Like they show the stature of the killer.
They show the silhouette and it's fucking massive.
So it's like there's only one logical like conclusion of who it could be in the drama club, and that's part of like the pacing super weird, man. Like I really didn't enjoy it. They skipped a lot of parts where it's not integral to the core of the story.
But
I always say this, but you just lose out on a lot. Like when Rui, I keep saying Rui. When Louis becomes fucking Kingpin, he like hates he's originally just put there as to be like a figurehead, right? Like the tigers or the lions are like, "Yeah, we'll fucking eat them once we're done, but we're gonna use them to like for a shtick," and that's what
we're gonna use them to like elevate our status.
Yeah, like bring back the Leos to the top of the food chain in the black market, and then we'll fucking eat the kid later. Like they say that, and that's the plan. And then fucking all of a sudden the clan respects Louis, and the fucking the tiger guy with the glasses. I keep saying tiger, I mean lion. The lion guy with the glasses, don't remember his name. Ibuki? Yeah. So Ibuki, like, all of a sudden becomes, like, his loyal henchman and, like, would die for this man, for Louis. And it's like, well, that's kind of fucking weird. They shared, like, one conversation.
And
where
it's
it
weird.
Seemed like...
Yeah, and the if you're confused by that because you're an anime only watcher, they skip about 2 or 3 other conversations that they have in the manga, where they're actually bonding over like some shared experiences and stuff, and it's actually really good. And I don't know why they left it out.
As someone who's like an anime only, it felt kind of weird. Things were happening super quick. And at first I was like giving it sort of the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, okay, like I mean, it's really like they go through things super quick. I was like, okay, it's still like engaging enough for me to like keep going with it, you know?
The thing I do love that they did keep in, and I'm really glad they kept it in, is that scene where Ibuki actually buys Louis a salad, and he says that he was embarrassed to go buy it by himself. Like it's such a good like character difference between them. Like he's trying to understand Louis, but it's like, I'm still embarrassed by this. Give me time.
You still get the gist of their relationship, which is interesting.
Yeah, because they share 2 scenes. They share that one scene where Ibuki buys the salad, and the second one where Ibuki shows like, oh, he sank low too, and he lost money or need to pay someone, and was selling his body for parts too, right? So there's other scenes that they missed out on with Ibuki, where the reason why he even was watching Louis and why he bought the salad, like, that's not explained. And I feel like that was a great moment to explain like why Ibuki's even watching Louis. He's doing it because he knows that Louis is a smart kid, and Louis will fucking kill himself if he needs to, if he thinks he's being taken advantage of and he's not winning in this situation. So because of that, Ibuki keeps an eye on him to make sure he doesn't fuck up the group. But because of that, he starts learning more about herbivores, and that's where Ibuki has like a lot of conversations in his own head, like, oh, this kid is pretty actually crazy. Like, we're a bunch of fucking lions, and this dude is not losing his fucking cool, and he's doing things that he honestly shouldn't be doing, like eating meat, you know, to prove a fucking
That scene
point
was
that he can fucking play with the boys. And all of this like kind of just gets fucking glossed over. And I was just like, it's not that important. Okay, it really isn't.
Oh, but it
was
kind of
important to
is
me.
though. It is though important because they built this relationship up so much.
Now, those scenes give you a great insight into Ibuki's character that you don't get in the anime.
Yeah, and like fucking the ending with Ibuki, like it just feels like it was. Oh,
It just happens, sort of.
It just happens.
Like they
And
build towards
again,
it, but it's not.
Without-
It's not earned. It's like
Yeah, without those scenes that they actually did skip over from the manga, it feels completely unearned, and it does seem to come out of left field.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense if you read the manga. And don't get me wrong, the manga's pacing is pretty bad too, where like things kind of just happen and they just keep happening and it keeps on coming and it keeps on coming. But man, I was super disappointed about that for the second season, especially considering it was only 4 fucking volumes. It was less than the fucking first season, and they squeezed so much less information.
Well,
It's
five
really-
volumes, not 4, but
Yeah, it's
whatever.
really a shame
Still.
because it's again as an anime only. Like I got the gist of most of the things, and I really did enjoy the show. But man, the pacing it really hurts the show. And we talk about pacing a lot. We have so many episodes of podcast talking about pacing. But man, like there's a certain point like I won't forget like getting towards the end of this season, and like. The fights with Riz is happening. I'm like, I'm digging this, but then it just goes by so quickly to the point where we're getting to the end of the season, and they just skip over so many things are happening so quick, like the fallout of all the events of the battle, and Riz going to prison, and suddenly Lugosi is with Haru, and it's like so many things are like going by so quickly. Like, wait, there's gotta be a whole other episode like for as an epilogue to all of this. Things that are happening. No, it just ends.
It just happens.
It just
happens,
ends.
dude. We're gonna cram the last of all this fucking arc in the last like 5 minutes of this show. They're like, what the fuck, dude?
Where they rush it to?
and-
They could have done another episode, right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that pacing is such an important tool that I'm so surprised considering how good the directing has been for the characters and stuff so far, right? Like, man. And
It's such a shame.
Speaking of revealing the killer, so it was fucking obvious, right? Like
From the moment
so
he shows up.
well, from the moment you see a silhouette, it was obvious who it was after that.
But let's give them credit that, like, the way they reveal Lugosi, noticing it's him, it's like, oh, I know it's you. Like, him calling it out. Like, I'll give them credit. That was a great moment of Lugosi approaching. It's like, yeah, I know you did it.
Yeah, because they did that twice, right? The first one where he deadpan name drops the Randy or whatever, the fucking kangaroo who's stealing panties.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's just running alongside some like weirdo kangaroo at night. Like, hey, so you like jogging at night? Oh, do you remember anything about that murder last year? Did you jog out here? No, and he's like, oh, it's been a while. I don't know, man. And he tries to run away, and then like Lugosi catches up, and he's like, yeah, I'm just asking some questions. Like, do you like running at night, man? I see you run in the morning too. And it's like, yeah, fitness. And he's like, oh, okay. Also, you're the panty thief, right? And it's like, what? And that's the first fucking battle sequence, and it's fucking amazing. Holy shit!
Goddamn
Oh,
kangaroo.
Man. I did not expect that, honestly speaking. I was like, I thought it was just gonna be a one and done type of deal where like he just like fucking jumps behind him and throws him to the ground or something. But I didn't actually expect like a little fucking actual fight sequence. That was kind of cool.
Did y'all happen to catch the fact that it is a kangaroo that's doing the stealing?
Damn
Yes.
Aussies.
What?
Damn Aussies, the criminal
Oh my
mentality, man.
Oh my god. Anyway, so after that, Lugosi gets fucking blindfolded and the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And the killer is super tall, and it's fucking obviously Riz because there's no one else in the drama club that is that big.
Big.
Okay?
Yeah.
And like It's like, this dude can pick me up with one arm. I was like, it's fucking the bear, dude. Like, what the fuck? It's obviously the fucking bear. And
yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty much been narrowed down a little bit for you by the time the second season starts. You know it's someone at the school. You know it's someone in the drama club. You know it's a carnivore. So that definitely narrows it down for you. And then, like, once you figure out that the person who did kill Tim can lift fucking Legoshi up with one arm, that severely narrows it down.
It's the big-ass bear.
There's quite literally just one other person if it's not Billy.
Yeah.
So that was...
That might Billy.
But, I mean, the point of it wasn't, like, the mystery, like a whodunit. You know, this isn't a drama whodunit. This is more about
Why? Right?
Well, there's so much going on. So when I first got into BEASTARS, I thought it was just going to be like, yeah, whatever, high school drama, Zootopia, like, whatever. I am surprised at how much depth there is to BEASTARS. I said this, I'm pretty sure I said this in season 1's review too, but there's a lot more to the story. There's so much more depth to the story. And a lot of it revolves around, like, themes and motifs, right? Racism, speciesism, accepting who you are, coming of age, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned here, and it's actually really interesting. The world is super interesting. One thing I really liked was, like, Riz. So Riz, we find out he's the killer, and he ate Tem. Tem apparently was getting close with Riz, and then he made Riz feel better. Riz is a bear. He has to take, like, those strength pills, or this muscle atrophy pills.
Yeah, muscle atrophy pills.
To reduce his strength, because bears need to do that when they're over a certain, like, size, because otherwise they'll be too strong and then they'll kill everyone. And
Riz rips an arm off of someone.
Yeah, like that's something else. Like, you're shown that how easy it is in this world for carnivores to accidentally hurt and perhaps even kill herbivores, because the panther dude or leopard or whatever he is in the drama club Tao, he accidentally rips the anteater's arm off.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
And how they showed that was super good and super interesting, because you see how, like, the carnivores, like Billy, he jumps to the rescue right away. He's like, everyone step the fuck back, especially you carnivores, especially you, Tao, calm the fuck down. And he holds him back, right? Because Tao's, like, freaking out, but Billy grabs him and pulls him away from the herbivores, because he knows, like, we're carnivores. We're seen as, like, predators, and people are scared of us. We need to get you the fuck away from the rest of these herbivores to avoid any more panic. And, like, it was just, and it's super crazy. It's like, you would think that he would panic and as well, you know, because it's Billy. He's the hothead, but he knows his role very well in the society, and it's super interesting. The whole dynamic between
so good.
It is, and that you see that in the really the quiet moments too. Like, as much as there is good action sequences in the second season, there's some really good quiet world building moments that you got. Like the scene or scenes where you have the leopard girl going shopping with the sheep girl.
It's so good.
And, like, she's so frustrated because, like, people, the carnivores only seem to be friends with herbivores to get, like, likes on on Beast Book. Good God.
No, it was the opposite. The herbivores were taking pictures with carnivores.
Yeah. That's right.
Because it would help them get likes on Beast Book. But yeah, like, we see that budding friendship where the herbivore sheep was like, oh, I was actually scared of the carnivore leopard girl, but then they actually become friends at the end of it. And I was like, that's actually super cool. You know, that's one of the dynamics in this world that they don't talk about enough. But
and then you
setting
see it,
up for.
You see it again when you have that scene with Haru and Juno on the rooftop. Like, that was so good too.
That's such a good scene between the two, yeah.
Yeah, where Juno, like, starts feeling like this is why people want to protect herbivores. Like, it's not just because we're supposed to, because they're herbivores, but it's because they're cute and small and
I love
fragile.
how, like, Juno goes into that scene following Haru to the rooftop, like, you hussy, I'm gonna find out what you're all about. And then, like, by the end of it, she's like, oh, just let me pet you.
No, and by the end of it, she's like, I need to get the fuck out of here before she fucking whips me, you know?
Also, another great episode is the one focuses on Riz and his, like, relationship with the other bears. Like, I love how they establish that, again, they're so powerful, so they need to take those pills. And because they are in pain because of the pills, they drink all this honey. And it's like, it's so good because it like the world makes so much sense with how it's built. It's awesome. I absolutely love how the world is constructed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
like
then
the fact that he's a good cook and they all like look up to him
Yeah,
as sort of
it's
this,
so
like
good.
big brother figure.
Dude, Riz is such a
And
good
then-
character. I love him.
Then we have the theme of accepting who you are and deciding who or what you want to be, right? So Riz, he's got a bunch of problems. He hates taking the muscle atrophy drugs,
Yep.
and when he meets Tem and starts talking to Tem, an herbivore, about these problems, he starts feeling better because he's not like he's kind of like revealing what it's like to be a carnivore, what it's like to be a bear.
Yeah, and Tim starts to respect him for who he is too.
Yeah, and it's like it's a really good peek into their dynamic, and then this is where Riz fucks it all up, where he decides, oh, I'm gonna go meet Tem without my medicine
To be who I am in front of him. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, and then he fucking kills Tem, and then how he goes crazy because of this. Holy shit! His breakdown of like
It's
me and Tem
amazing.
are the perfect like union of herbivore and this, like Tem wanted me to eat him and all this stuff that he made up in his mind, whereas like when he's fighting Legacy's like, you killed Tem, and he's like, I didn't kill Tem and I are the bestest of buddies, you won't soil the love between us, you know. I'm just like, dude, Riz is gone
It's
crazy,
so
man.
I also
good.
love that you see that throughout the season when he's alone, when Riz is alone, and he's talking, he's like doing the inner monologues, but he's
Yeah.
not talking to himself. He's talking to Tim in his
Yeah.
inner monologues.
Like he's
'Cause
crazy,
it's
but
like-
his insanity is so well like presented. I love it. It's great.
Well, and the fucking worst part is it's about accepting who he was, right? He had a hard time accepting who he was because he is like, oh, I'm a bear, but I can't really be a bear because I have to do all these things because I'm a bear, right? And how that affected him and why he created that fake Tem in his head and justified eating Tem. Like that, I'm like, that is such a good way to like frame it. Like, because of season 1, we saw the carnivores as just like, yeah, they just like eating herbivores. That's just nature, right? And it is nature. And that's not something that they need to deny. But they spend so much time in season 1 just trying to make it out like, oh, it's a dog-eat-dog world and this and that. And then in season 2, they focus on the opposite, right? Where, well, the reason they shouldn't eat each other isn't because, like, you know, we're all animals here, we need to get along. It's that you have to suppress who you are because there's just so many differences. And then they fucking flip that on its head, though,
Yeah.
because then when we go to the black market, we see that there's certain herbivores that are preying on the carnivores. Like there's that
Yeah.
old goat man who wants to chop off the what's that fucking type of alligator?
The Cayman.
The Cayman alligator's genitals off because he thinks it's gonna help him fuck his wife, and it's like he's
What the
the
fuck?
rich. Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck? It's a total role reversal. And then we have Ibuki, who shows off his tattoo where he was gonna sell off his arm to pay for some money or some debt, right? Where he's obviously an apex predator, but there was a time in his life where he was gonna be sold off for meat. And again, that just shows another dynamic into this world of like, it's not as it seems. You know, just because you're a predator does not mean you can't be prey. And just because you're considered prey does not mean you can't be a predator.
And also,
it's just,
like for as much as this delves into things like racism, there's also an aspect of classism in that as well, because it's showing
For
off that
sure.
just because you're at the top now doesn't mean you can't be at the bottom.
yeah. And then there's also the fact that there's the racism, classism, speciesism. Like the carnivores kind of have it bad, right? They're not allowed to eat. They can't eat meat, obviously, even though they're carnivores and they want to eat meat because it makes them crazy. But they're all forced to eat tofu, vegetables, whatever.
Yeah.
And all their herbivores, they kind of have it made. Like, all the rules benefit the herbivores. Everyone always has to protect the herbivores. Everyone's worried about the herbivores. No one's really worried about the carnivores, even though it's purely due to because the carnivores could eat us at any time. But society is built in such a way that it doesn't matter. Like, freaking at the end, Legoshi goes to jail and gets kicked out of school because he eats Rui's foot. Rui.
Yeah.
I keep saying Rui. Louis' foot.
I swear to God, I'm gonna end this right now.
Listen, they call him Rui. I'm
Rui.
used to hearing Rui.
Rory?
Stop. No. Anyway, so in the final climactic battle, Legacy's like, freaking Legacy.
I need to power up.
I need to talk about this. So Legacy spends all that fucking time training as Batman to harness the power of not eating meat and to like be able to be okay without eating meat. And then at the end, he fucking eats meat to power level to fucking fight and beat Riz. And it's like, what the fuck?
I like how he also eats insects to dope up.
Yeah, they eat insects to dope up.
He has that like a fucking. I like how they like imply that eating insects is like taking drugs in this world. Because
What was that about? It's like he sees a god
he eats the
insect or
larva and then
something.
he has like this fucking like LSD trip where he's talking to a moth.
Yeah, I don't know what was that about.
It was not an analogy. It was to show like they know what it's like to take a life. Like obviously Legacy at that point when he was eating the bugs had never taken a life, and he made that vow he was never going to eat meat, right? But that was the first step to like accepting who he is. He's a wolf. He's a carnivore. Like he gets strong by eating meat. And again, that's why Louis tells him to eat his leg, because he's like, you need to be who you are. Like quit suppressing who you really are on the inside, a carnivore. Like it's okay to be a carnivore.
It's like a really good mirror to Riz and Tam's relationship, because that again was about Riz being like who he is, but taken to a really different extreme of him sort of like giving himself an excuse to be like to let out his psychotic urges, I guess. While Louis and Legoshi's relationship is like, no, actually both of them being better and allowing themselves to be themselves, you know? Or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, they even say it in an earlier battle where they're fighting in the shower, where Riz is like, we're predators, or we're carnivores. We have sharp teeth and claws for, you know, taking control and killing the herbivores. And then Legosi's like, no, we have it to protect what we love. And then, like, that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
They're the same, but they're different. Like, they're going through the same type of shit where they have to suppress who they really are, but they're fighting for completely different reasons. And, you know, you see how Riz went crazy after he killed his best friend Tem, the only person in his life who actually made him feel okay for being who he is. And then, you know, with that whole fucking fake story about Tem wanted me to eat him. Like, it's so... God, there's so many more layers to this fucking show, and I can't.
Like you said, it's
believe
deeper than you ever thought it would be.
I really didn't expect going into the show that I would be so invested in it, because again, I just thought it was just gonna be High School Musical Zootopia. Like honestly, that's all I thought it was gonna be.
High School Musical Furries edition,
right?
No, like 100%. That's what I thought. But
and there is still some of that high school like, you know, melodrama, but still
for sure, so much of it. But that, like, again, and I totally agree with you, which makes it even more disappointing because, like, when I got to, like, maybe episode 8, 9, I was like, oh, this show it's a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. I love it. It's so good. It's everything I wanted in season 1, but better. But then, like, the pacing started to, like, show how it sort of affects the show for the worst, and the ending comes up, and it's like, it left me with such a bad taste in my mouth, because it's like, why you could have given it like one more episode to give us like a good closure for this arc. It just go poof.
Do you know what this season needed more of that it didn't have? Jack.
Yeah, we only got like 2 scenes with Jack.
Oh,
you know why, Natai? Because Jack is a good boy.
He's such a good boy. He's so sad. He's
Jack.
a sad boy.
Poor Jack.
Yeah, Jack was relegated to like a fucking background character in this season, which is sad because he was a good character in the first.
Well, I mean, that's kind of his role in this arc anyway. He's kind of just a background character. His only major scene was discovering Legacy after he gets his ass beat. So,
yeah,
that's kind of it. But no, the pacing at the ending was so fucking bad. Like The whole
It
thing,
was.
like, we have the whole Ibuki slash Louis situation where Louis is like, oh, I don't want to be a mob boss. I need to get out of this. I need to go help my friend Legosi fight this fucking bear. And then, like, the reason Ibuki, like, gets himself killed so that way God damn it, Louis has an excuse to, I'm going to keep fucking it up, honestly speaking, because that's all I heard. But, yeah, it gives Louis an excuse to get out of the black market. And it's just like, they skipped over so much and it just happened. And it's like, why did Ibuki die? It didn't make sense. And then, like, Louis crying his heart out after he talks to Legosi about, like, you're a fucking idiot for just trying to fight this carnivore. Like, you could have just called the cops, you fucking fool. And it's like, yeah, but this is kind of a battle of our idealisms, you know? A battle for carnivores' idealisms. And I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly it. And it's
there's that melodrama.
Yeah. And it's like, they, for the weirdest parts in the fucking end, they stretch out a bunch of stupid shit and then glass over a bunch of other stuff.
Like, show none of the fallout of that battle of, like, Riz going to jail and it just ends. And like, why? Why would you do this?
Yeah.
That brings up a good point, that, you know, the way that this season ends, it does feel like it's just wrapped up, like, really, really quickly. And
For
you
no
feel like, yeah,
reason.
Natai said there kind of needed to be some kind of an epilogue to it, even if it was like maybe they made the last episode maybe 15, 20 minutes longer.
Or made it like future length, you know, make it an hour long. That would have been way
Yeah.
better.
It felt like
Yeah,
they skipped over a lot of stuff that was enough for an extra episode. It really felt like
Yeah,
it.
that could have worked too. But, you know, as much as we actually like this actually does mark the halfway point of the story of the manga, right? So there's 22 volumes total in the manga. It is finished. And this season ends with volume 11. As of the time of this recording, there hasn't been a third season announced yet. I have to imagine that given the critical and commercial success of the first season, and at least so far the critical success of the second season, there might be a third season. So maybe some of that will come to fruition in the third season. Like the first episode will be sort of an epilogue to the second season.
Yeah, like the upcoming stuff is super interesting because so far they just started doing the world building in season 2. And we only got a fucking crumb, a little fraction of it.
I can tell you, as someone who has read the manga, the next little part has a lot of world building in it.
Yeah,
Good.
It's great. It's fucking amazing. Oh my god. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really hope that it gets renewed and picked up for a third season and eventually a fourth season to fucking finish it out. Like,
yeah, like John and I were talking before we started recording this. Like, if they do 4 seasons, they could do the entire story of BEASTARS in 4 seasons. If they do 12 or 13 episodes for the third and fourth season.
Hey, I'm always down for complete adaptations. Give it to me, Orange, please.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Inside, March comes in like a fucking lion.
Don't make me cry.
all right. Numerical scores. Let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up with our scores. So I'll start. So I gave the first season a 9 out of 10. I really loved the first season. I genuinely loved this season too. But like you guys, I definitely had some issues with the pacing. I certainly had some issues with some of the things that were left out. But I gotta say that coupled with the fact I actually loved the way it was resolved, the actual story of, you know, finding Tim's murderer, and the fact that, you know, technically I think this season was a little bit better than the last season, in terms of its art, animation, and OST. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10, so it's only 0.5 less than what I gave the first season.
Now, I don't remember what I scored it. I probably scored it a 7 or something on the first season because it wasn't that impressive. Like, it blew me away 100%. Like, I came in thinking it was going to be bad. And whenever you come in thinking something's going to be bad and it turns out to be halfway decent, it actually is
wow.
a lot better. Yeah, you go, wow, that's actually way better than I thought it'd be. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because just on a technical level, like, yes, they fucked up a couple of the pacing things and skipped a bunch of story stuff, but is it integral to the main story and where it's going to go from here? Not really. Like, I'd say 15-ish% yes, but the rest no. But from a technical standpoint, like it looks a lot better. It runs a lot better. The fight scenes were amazing. The music was still great. World building, they added in little bits and pieces here and there to just like give us a little bit more of a lively world. Especially considering what comes next, it's good. It's fucking great. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's fucking great.
It's rough.
So what was the actual numerical score you would give?
I said 8 out of 10. I already said that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I must have missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was looking up some bunny porn, dude. It's like, ugh. Anyway,
Shit.
I'll tell you what, it's rough. Cause the first season, I loved it. It was great. It's just a really incredible show. I loved everything about it, production, the voice, like everything. It's like a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I absolutely adored it. And like while watching season 2, as I said, I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's like 9 out of 10. I love it. I love everything about it. But then slowly the pacing just comes up and fucks it all up. And like, again, everything about season 2 is even better than season 1 till you get to like the last section of the show. And again, the pacing just shows how much it just hurts the entire season. Also, I had some kind of gripes with the direction as well. So many fucking split screens. I don't know why, but yeah, it's again. I absolutely love this season, but it's probably a 7 for me. It's probably a 7. It's amazing. It's awesome.
We didn't even talk about the split screen stuff. Like there were times when they had all those split screens up. Like, am I watching a shonen?
Dude, I was confused. I was like, was season 1 like this with its split screen? There's so many this season. There's so many. But yeah, again, don't get me wrong. Season 2 is amazing. I loved it, but it's definitely the pacing hurt it a lot. It definitely left me with a sour taste in my mouth, especially at the end. It's a shame. I was disappointed by it because for most of the season, it's incredible. It's incredible stuff. But then it's like,
I can tell you, I as someone who's read the manga a little bit past this, I can tell you that if you actually like the slow character building and world building scenes from the second season, you're gonna love what comes next.
I love more of this world. I love to see more of the characters in the world and see where it goes because I love this show. It's just a shame that they kind of just rushed through a lot of really interesting things that probably happened and we didn't see.
Yeah, and I kind of see the problem here is that because of how animes are usually aired, like 12 to 24 to 36, in units of 12, right?
Yeah.
We have core seasons.
Yeah, in units of 12 or 13, yeah.
And the problem is that there was not enough to kind of split this into 24 episodes just for this arc. And it would have been fine if they added the next arc. Yeah, I feel like they could have did 13, but maybe
what they should have done is made the final episode an hour long. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, honestly speaking, but what can you do? But I'm hoping because of how they wrapped it up that season 3 is going to be announced pretty soon, within the next, 2 months or something.
Watch it be tomorrow, because
I know
we're recording this at the end of June, and like watch it be fucking tomorrow when it comes out. And it's like by the time we actually release this,
you're outing us as pirates, yar.
I didn't pirate this. I have a Japanese Netflix account.
Yeah, me too. Don't you, Natai?
Of course I do, right?
Yeah, see, we all have legitimate Netflix accounts from
NordVPN, right? Sponsor us.
Yeah, right. Do you have a VPN? No.
See, I'm not actually joking. I do actually have all that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But no, like, so since this is going to be coming out the Monday after the show actually releases in North America on Netflix, like, I just had this feeling that sometime between now and then it's going to get announced and we're going to look like fucking fools.
Like always.
Well, yeah.
But I will say, I said it before, as of the time of us recording this, a third season has not been announced.
Give it to me, Orange.
Well, I swear to God, Netflix, if you do it tomorrow, I'm going to fucking scream.
All right, well,
I think that's a great place to end it. Definitely hoping for a season 3. Studio Orange, get to it. Thank you all there for dropping in to listen to us rant and rave about this fucking Zootopia clone that we love so much. Check the description below to find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitch, on social media, and on Discord. Check out our merch store and our affiliate links as well. Any purchases you make there do really help us out. There are some new stickers on our store that you can find now too. If you like our little chibi designs that we have for our podcast characters, those are all available as stickers now. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Nice burp, whoever did that. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Woo, what's this? Notices your bulge?